Good morning, everyone. I hope you're going well. I'm a specialist technical coach and mentor for open formula drivers. I just woke up. I just saw FP1. I just saw spring qualifying. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you're going well. A couple of initial thoughts. I don't have too much detail to run into in this video. Probably the Q3 analysis will get into a bit of telemetry. But generally speaking, I thought the drivers were driving really well. And I didn't see many opportunities out there, unfortunately. Drivers were on the right parts of the track. And it kind of was what it was. We'll talk about the rookies a little bit later. I think those guys messed up. And someone asked me a question in the live stream and said, what do the rookies need to watch out for this weekend? And so that was a good question because I think it was spot on. So yeah, initially dusty, windy, hard compound tire, like I say. And yeah, with that crosswind, we spoke about it. I'll bring it up on the track map, but essentially coming across the track, not parallel to any of the straights, and it creating a lot of understeer, particularly in the second last corner, of the long corners at like turn 15 and turn 8 as well. I'll bring it up. We'll have a look at it. So wind is coming across from southeast or south, and it's creating problems in 6, 8, traction. I think I saw Gasly with traction at 14, increasing 15, and then yeah, it's all these corners where it's just a crosswind that's really annoying. Now you've got big, heavy, clumsy dinosaur cars anyway, and then this wind, like they naturally understeer because they're so heavy in the front, and then you got this wind not doing any favors as well. So it's not parallel with like any of the straights, for example. Then it would either, it's very clear the impact that it's going to have. But I think it's got to do with the steering, and yeah, a lot of drivers struggling with that in FP1. But yeah, it'll be a story that we follow throughout the weekend just to see if that understeer continues or if like it cleans up. But yeah, I guess once they got into SQ3 with the soft tires, like it feels a little bit better and they can manage it. But the wind is picking up as we go throughout the weekend. Tomorrow will be furthermore windy, and Sunday is going to be windier as well. So it is a case for the tight line. Let me teach you guys about the tight line. If you didn't come along to the live stream, we'll have a look at it. And there's only one place that I see an opportunity for a tight line, and it's over here between turns 7 and 8. Let me draw it out for you. So it's going to look something like this in a very bad drawing. And the normal racing line kind of finds this position on the entry to 8 and does a big arc sweeping across there. And the tight line says just go straight and rejoin and feed in. This is a story that I'm not necessarily looking out for in quali because with the light fuel and the soft tires, the cars are capable enough to make that direction change, even though it is bad technique in my opinion. But with turn 8 in the race, with the increasing wind and everything, you're going to struggle with the wind, and you're going to struggle with the aero wash that comes through when you're following another car as well, and the full tank of fuel and the harder compound of tire. Everything that adds up means that you're going to struggle to make that direction change. And the tight line says you just dive in, and this straight period gives you good front grip. Really helpful because there's no direct, you've cut out the whole direction change. And you can also carry more speed through 7, which means you don't need to do so much work. You're not thinking, oh, I need to sacrifice and bring it across. No, you're just thinking like, I can just carry the speed through. It's all good because I know I'm just going to resume and do the tight line thing. So I hope that makes sense. If you didn't catch the live stream, definitely check that out. But yeah, I'll show you guys a few pictures, just how it looks in practice to try to understand it. So there's not much of a difference across here. Again, it'll be more of a story I'm following in the race. But yeah, this is, let's say Antonelli's left front closer to the white line than Hadjar's, for example. And I know I'm splitting hairs here. I know there's not much of a difference, but the tight line will say that you'll come across even more in the direction of Hadjar. I tried to get this like same point in time to get this shot where this gravel or whatever it is, this road across here, still present on both shots. So look, there's not much in this, and this was Antonelli on his practice quali run, and this was Hadjar on his SQ1 run. But that's all I could really see. I'll try to have a look at Oscar Piastri's onboard. I said I would give comment on his onboard in qualifying. So if I do get that, I'll comment on his line into there as well. I thought that the final corner would present a bit of an opportunity. There's 2 options there. Number 1, you brake all 4 wheels on the track and you get more braking grip. Or number 2, you go a little bit wider, have the right side of the car on that curb. Yeah, you've got less braking grip on the right front, but you can just sweep through and carry a little bit more speed. I'm not sure which is better. I did see a little bit of variation across the drivers. I'll have a look here. This is Russell early on in the session, but I just want to highlight to you, yeah, you can have these right side of the car further up as much as possible. Maybe the cars can't run like with this underneath the car, this kind of edge of curb area, but definitely you can get the right front up on a little bit more. You would have seen that, like, it's the same sort of thing that you'll see in Austria turn 1, for example. This is Max doing the same thing, getting the left front so he can carry more speed, for example. But in this particular corner, Austria turn 1, braking grip is not that important. This is a few gears down and bang, through you go. So there's more of a case for this sort of technique. Whereas in Austin, it is more of a decent braking zone. Braking grip, you maybe want to attribute a little bit more weighting towards. So I thought I'd call that out. Keep that as an eye out as well. That's, again, like I didn't see that many opportunities out there, but that would be one where I'd be trying less braking grip on the curb and then trying to carry more speed through the final corner. Or do you all four wheels on the track and then, yeah, try to maximize braking grip? I think Hamilton was the only one doing that, the latter, which is not using the curb, which means he's prioritizing the braking grip, which is really interesting as well. Just going to run through like qualifying generally, and then we'll get over to telemetry and Piastri's onboard. Okay, so rookie mistakes. Bortoletto's lap time was deleted in the first one. That's a shame because look where Nico Hulkenberg is. That's mad. Massive call out for Hulkenberg, doing a good job. Alonso as well up there in P6. You guys know my philosophy, which is that the reason I think this championship, up to this point or the first half was a little bit dull was because we're not seeing the first, second, third, or fourth best drivers competing for the championship in the papaya-colored cars. I put that as Verstappen, Russell, Alo and Leclerc. Alo and Leclerc kind of equal 3-4. But yeah, it's I guess that's why. Anyway, so I'm calling that out because look where he is, mate. Fernando Alonso, P6. That's mad. And then Hulkenberg having a good weekend as well. P4, that's excellent. So anyway, Bortoletto lap time deleted. Behrman out. I think that was a timing issue for him. Antonelli blew the hairpin on his lap as well, a little bit deep, locked up the unloaded inside left front in the hairpin of turn 11. Lawson as well, another timing issue. I think Sonoda timing issue as well. So a lot of timing issues out there, like they're finding traffic and not sure when to do their runs and so on. I guess they're trying to squeeze the best part of the track. And in doing so, some of them didn't get their laps or got traffic on their laps as well. But yeah, the rookies really struggled in this session to try to find the space and do the timing and prepare the tires and so on. I don't think tire prep was a massive story. Conditions were almost perfect out there, dry, sunny and everything. It wasn't one of those sprint weekends where tire prep was a big thing. It was more like tire conservation through the final part of the lap. But yeah, I don't think it came to understanding the tires. I think it was more of a question of timing and getting the lap in. Yeah, obviously Max did an amazing job. This is what we said in the live stream. I put the poll out. I'm like, who's going to get sprint pole? We all pretty much concurred and agreed that the first sector would belong to Max. And turns out the last sector belongs to Max as well. So yeah, good job by Max. But at this point, we're not surprised, are we? That's just Max Verstappen. That's what he does. He gets it done. On good days, on bad days, when it's comfortable, not comfortable. So he's definitely placing himself with a better shot at this championship. Let's have a look at the telemetry now. So I showed you guys in the live stream last year, we had a look at it and Max was keeping his foot flatter for longer. This is the exact same comparison, Lando and Verstappen last year. And we were having a look, where am I? Yeah, Max was keeping his foot flatter for longer in the S's. I'll be keen to see if Lando has resolved for that or learnt from that. That'll be what I'm looking for in the first sector. Let's have a look. All right, interesting. Can we zoom in on the S's, please? Okay, so Max does lift for the first part. He didn't do that last year. He kept it flat for that one, and he kept it flat for that one as well. So Max is just, a bit of a lift, but a big stab here. Look at that. So this is a really good use of downforce. I spoke about this in the live stream, and I'm like, when downforce is with you, you can go after the pedals. And when downforce is not with you, you got to be patient on the pedals. This part here is Max going after the pedal very heavily, like just on, like almost like a switch. Really good. Here again, Where else? I think here's probably the biggest one, through 7. Max gives a really good punch through 7, which is nice to see as well. And then, yeah, just between the corners, Max is just, yeah, almost not respecting the Rob Wilson rule of introduce the car to what's coming next. And rightly so. That should be thrown out when downforce is significant, because downforce gives you grip. Downforce gives you ability to hammer brakes and hammer throttles. And that's what you want to do. And I spoke about downforce being a tool that you want to use. A lot of people talk about driving technique, and driving tools are what? Brake, steering, and throttle. And I always go 2 steps further. I say, well, there's shifting, and then there's driver tools, rotation, engine braking, brake balance, brake migration, how you time your shifts. And then the final tool is downforce. Downforce is a tool that you need to use. And if you want to see how it's used correctly, have a look at Max Verstappen's first sector in Austin Mega. I wanted to have a look at Piastri Norris comparison. Where is Lando getting the upper hand at the moment? Let's have a look. Wow. There's not, just to look at the Delta, there's not a single time that it's in poor Oscar's favor. He's getting hammered. But there are sections of the track where he's better. If you look track dominance, I mean, I don't know why that's painted white. He's losing Delta there to Lando. Yeah, I don't see that much, probably through here, just because the Delta starts to come down just through the S's, suggesting Piastri gets a better run out of turn 1. But that's about it. Other than that, it goes up, up, flat, up, up. Yeah, a little bit of a better final corner, but that's about it. So he needs a bit of help. Oscar Piastri is 3/10 down, getting hammered in almost all areas. Let's see if we can have a look at his onboard. I just feel like when he's braking and timing the corner, like either he needs more laps to dial in a bit better. He's expecting more braking grip than what is available. And in some cases, he's like 1, 11, and 12, he's expecting more front turn in than what would be available as well. It's like he's trying to start to turn in with the speed, and it washes the car out. I think he needs to separate a lot of those elements a little bit more. Let me jump over to the whiteboard and show you what I'm talking about. All right, let's just take turn 11 and draw that hairpin as an example. Goes something like this, a big wide track. And this is where I think this damage is being done. So it's in the braking point and the entry phase. He's not meeting the apex, and that's giving him some traction troubles on the exit. So I'm not too worried about the exit. It's got to be the braking and the entry phase. So he is braking late, which is fine. Like, we want to hang on to that as much as possible and use some other tricks and techniques to get around that. Yeah, I would say, well, firstly, smash the gears a little bit harder. Pull back as hard as possible with the gears. We'll double check that actually with Lando, and we'll just see where if that's an opportunity. I can check that in the telemetry. So we'll check that. I want to see more engine braking, more downshifts. Got to pull this car up a little bit more. The other thing that Oscar's doing is, because he's braking so late and trying to carry that speed in, he starts combining the brake and steer, and I just feel like that's where the understeer is overloading the front tires. And that's where the understeer is creeping in, and it pushes you wide. It's hard to get on throttle thereafter. So if we're going to do that, we've got to separate our elements a little bit more. We can't combine so much. If we're going to brake there, we need to just brake and smash gears. Don't add steering yet, because if you do, you're going to overload the front tires. So don't add our steering yet. We'll wait for that speed to just taper off a little bit, and then we'll add our steering in, and we'll do something like that. A little bit more of a short corner style. We're separating braking and steering to try to get a rotation done and a straighter exit as well. If that doesn't work, we're going to need to give up a little bit of time on the braking. We have to brake earlier and softer to allow Oscar to combine on the way in. So that's our plan B. Let's have a look at the downshifts in the telemetry and see if Oscar's leveraging them properly. We'll go for here, 11 hairpin. Let's have a look. Braking exactly the same spot. So yeah, we want to hang on to that. Have a look at RPM. Lando in orange is higher than Oscar Piastri. And then Lando's clicking him down early. I knew it, lad. What are you talking about, Oscar? Okay, so they're braking at exactly the same point into the turn 11 hairpin here. the brakes, I can't see a difference. I can see a difference in the release. Oscar's coming off early and Lando's holding on to it a little bit longer. There's a bit of trail braking. So I can't see the magnitude and the pressures. So I'll park that story. But this here, when the revs start to jump for Lando in orange, it means he's getting more pullback, more braking potential out of the car. And it also helps with rotation as well. So engine braking twofold, helps with your braking, acts at the rear and helps with rotation. Exactly the areas that Oscar's struggling in. So that would be my first thing would be, okay, hang on to your braking point, wind the engine braking up a touch and smash those gears, baby, get that back. Hopefully that helps with the braking. Hopefully it helps get into the corner better. And the rest of it should just be, you know, open the steering wheel and bury the throttle thereafter. Those are my very quick insights and analysis. I'm not going to spend all weekend and all year focusing on Oscar Piastri and trying to save his career. I just feel like after Singapore, you know, we just owe him one. And that's my little input there. As for the movement in the S's, oh, that's tricky. There was a bit of movement in 6, wasn't there? Just, yeah, high speed movement. And what else did we see? Oh, in turn 20, I just don't think he got the turn in at the right point. Even 15 was early turn in as well. Got to move like when he initiates the steering around. He's not timing the corners. This is a timing sport. So you've got to be in the timing. It feels like I say, Oscar needs a few more laps to dial in. You know, it's just that entry phase. Like I say, 15 was too early. I'm just looking at the whiteboard. Where he turned into 15 was too early. I'll draw it for you guys in green. And he just found himself like stuck at the apex. And again, the whole traction issues. So it's like, again, similar thing to what I drew before. Yeah, the whole short corner thing. Get your rotation done out wider, get the car straighter and squarer. I think that's the way to go through 15. Cool. I think we covered everything in this video. If you had a thought, question, or comment, drop it in the comments section below. Sorry for getting the video out a little bit late. The time zone in the Americas is going to be crazy. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.